Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hello everyone, how are you?
So, in this video, we will take and explain to all of you the solution of the untitled question,
which is from Final Examination Paper January 2018.
Okay, for the first question is question 2 from Final Examination Paper January 2018. Saroja Mobile sells 4 brands of smartphone during year-end sales. 40% of the sales are from brand A, 30% from brand B, 20% from brand C, and 10% from brand D. The respective probabilities that smartphone need to repair during warranty are 0.1 from brand A, 0.06 from brand B, 0.03 from brand C, and 0.01 from brand D. There are 3 sub-questions that we must to answer. So let's go through. So for the first question, we have to construct a tree diagram based on the information given. I will let R as the event for smartphone that have to repair during warranty. As we know, we have 4 different brands of smartphone from Saroja Mobile shops, so we need to divide it into 4 parts. For brand A, 40%, we can represent it as probability of smartphone from brand A 0.4. To get 0.4, we can divide 40 over 100 and take the answer in decimal value. For brand B, 30% as probability of smartphone from brand B 0.3, for brand C 20% probability of smartphone from brand C 0.2, and brand D 10% probability of smartphone from brand D 0.1. After that, we have to divide every part of probability into 2 branches. Like for the first event, which is the probability of smartphone from brand A is happen, and probability of R, which is smartphone that have to repair during warranty, is happen. So in the other word is we can define it as conditional probability like probability R given A. For this value 0.1 we get from the question, but to get the probability of R prime, which is smartphone that doesn't have to repair during warranty, given probability of smartphone from brand A is by subtract 1 minus 0.1 equal to 0.9. As we know that every event is equal to 1. Next, we have to find the value of intersect for both probability by using multiplicative rule. These steps are optional to do, but it's more easier for you to refer and to answer for next question. So for this question, we have to multiply all the event occur. Like here 0.4 multiplied by 0.1 and we get the answer 0.04 and so on. So this is how tree diagrams looks like. Now, for this question, we have to find the probability that a smartphone both from Saroja Mobiles need repair during period. From the previous tree diagram, we already represent R as smartphone to repair during warranty. Warranty and period is the same thing. Hopefully, you will not get confused by that. Since this question doesn't ask from which brand they want, so we have to take all the intersect between all brand and probability of event R occur. Like here, from the previous tree diagram. So, to solve this question, it is better if we write first all the formula or representative of all probabilities to avoid careless. Since we have to get a smartphone from any 4 brand, we have to add the probabilities happen with event R occur. Next, the value of each probability we already count on tree diagram, so we can just refer by that and put into our solution. And the final answer is 0.065 by adding all the value that you get. For the last question, we have to find the probability of a smartphone both by a customer need repair during warranty period, given that it is from brand C. The key point to answer this question is the word given that here. This question is likely about the situation occur in a Bayes rule. When to answer this question, we have to find the probability of smartphone from brand C given smartphone need to repair during warranty, or in other words, probability of C given R. If you look here, it is reverse situation where at first we have to obtain the probability value for probability R given C at tree diagram. Next, we can find the answer using the formula conditional probability based on the tree diagram that we had earlier. You can also use another method like table that you think easier for you to get the answer. But I prefer to use tree diagram. So, the value of probability of C intersect R put into the solution. 0.006. For the probability of even R, we already got the answer from question B, so we just need to substitute it into the solution here. Use your calculator to calculate 0.006 divided by 0.065 and here 0.0923 is the final answer. Now, let's move on to another question by Amira Farisha.
In a particular day, the average number of buses which stop at a petrol station is 6 buses per hour. Assume that the number of buses which stop at the petrol station follows a Poisson distribution. In this question, it is clearly stated that it must follow Poisson distribution. In Poisson, there are two important things to look at. First, the average or the mean, and second, the time interval. In this question, it is given that the average is 6 buses and the time interval is an hour. So now, let's take a look at the first question. For question A, at least 2 buses stop at the petrol station in a particular 1 hour interval. As we can see here, the time interval is the same as before, so we do not need to change the mean. We can represent the mean with lambda symbol. So lambda is equal to 6. The question asks to find at least 2 buses, meaning that it must be larger than or equal to 2. It must be from 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. But instead of adding from 2 until 6, we can use the shortest way, which is 1, the total probability, minus the probabilities that are less than 2, which is 0 and 1. And then, we need to use Poisson formula, which is lambda to the power of x multiplied by exponential to the power of negative lambda divided by x factorial. You just need to insert the number and you will get 0.9826 for the last answer. For question B, it is similar like before, only the probability asked is different, which is anywhere from 3 to 5 inclusive, meaning that 3 and 5 are included too. So we can write it as probability 3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 5 is equal to probability when x is 3 plus 4 plus 5. And then you can use the formula to solve this and you will get 0.3837 for the last answer. For the last question, at most 3 buses stop at the petrol station in an interval of 20 minutes. As we can see here, the time is different, so we need to get a new mean. If the average of 6 buses stop in 1 hour, so what about in 20 minutes? So in order to find out how many buses stop, we need to divide 20 by 60 minutes and we will get 1 over 3. So we need to multiply 6 by 1 over 3 and then we will get 2, which is the new mean. The question asks at most 3 buses, meaning that it must be less than or equal to 3. So the probability when x is 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3. And then we just need to use formula like before, insert the number in the formula and you will get 0.8571 for the last answer. Now, let's have Umaira to explain the last question.
Next, I will explain to you how to solve question number 10. Suppose that the wage of visitors of active sport academy is normally distributed with a mean of £200 per household per year and a standard deviation of £40. From this statement, we know that this question is under the topic of normal distribution, as it is stated normally distributed in this question. We also get to know that mean is equal to 200 and the standard deviation is equal to 40. There are three questions that we need to answer using this information, which are 10A, 10B, and 10C. So first, for 10A, determine the probability that a randomly selected variables with at least £170. So basically, this question asks us to calculate the probability of the selected variable weight from £170 and above. So here how we can answer this question. First, we need to identify the mean and the standard deviation value, which we can get from the statement before. Then, we will use the normal distribution formula, where a random variable x is distributed normally with mean 200 and variance 40 squared. Next, we need to find the probability of x more than or equal to 170. To find the probability, we need to change the x value into z value using the formula z equal to x minus mean divided by standard deviation. So, by including all the information that we've seen before, we will get the probability of z more than or equal to 170 minus 200 divided by 40, which is equal to negative 0.75. After we gain the value of z, we need to refer to the normal distribution table. For your information, the value of negative z is equal to the value of z. So how to use the normal distribution table? Let me show you step by step. First, we need to look at the left column and search for one decimal point of our z, which is 0.7. Then, we follow the arrow until we meet 0.05 column, which is our second decimal point of z. The intersection of row 0.7 and column 0.05, we show the probability, which is 0.2266. To determine the answer, we need to sketch a normal distribution graph using z value. Then, we shade the right region, as we need to find the probability of z more than or equal to negative 0.75. 0.2266, which we gain from the normal distribution table, is the value of left region. This is because we only can get the tail value from the table. The whole graph is equal to 1. So, to determine the probability of x more than or equal to 170, we need to minus 0.2266 from 1. So, we will get 0.7734, which is our final answer for this question. Next, 10B. Determine the probability of a randomly selected variables weight between 150 and 300 pounds. So, for this question, we are required to find the probability that one selected variable is in range of 150 to 300 pounds. We can assign the probability as 150 less than x and x less than 300. The step to solve this question is same with the technique that we used for the question 10A before. It is also used the same mean and standard deviation value. Applying the formula z equal to x minus mean divided by standard deviation, we will get the probability of z more than negative 1.25 and z is less than 2.50. First, we need to find the value of z, 1.25, in the normal distribution table. The probability shown here is 0.1056. Next, we need to search for the second value of z, which is 2.50, and we gain 0.00200621. After that, we proceed to the sketching the normal distribution graph. As you can see here, the shaded region is in the middle, as the value of z is between 1.25 -1.25 and 2.50. As I stated before, the whole probability or the whole graph is equal to 1. So we need to minus those two value of z with 1. So 1 minus 0.1056 minus 0.0061, and we get the answer 0.88819, and this is our final answer. Lastly, for question 10C, Active Sport Academy wanted to conduct an open weightlifting tournament for lightweight category. Any weightlifters that weigh less than or equal to the maximum weight will be able to compete. The academy decided to allow the weightlifters that weigh in the lowest 10% of the distribution to compete. Determine the maximum weight that will enable the weightlifters to compete in this tournament. So for this question, the solution will be a bit different from the two questions that I explained before. In this question, we have given the probability and we need to find the maximum weight needed for the value of x. We can assign the value of x with k for any letter that you want. From the question, we know that the probability of x less than or equal to k is 0.10, which is 10%. Next, we need to apply the formula z equal to x minus mean divided by standard deviation. Then we get k minus 200 divided by 40. To know the value of z, we can look at the normal distribution table here. The probability given is 0.10, so we need to search for the equal of the nearest probability value. For this question, the nearest probability value that we can find is 0.1003. Next, to know the value of z, we need to look at the column and the row. As you can see here, the value of z is equal to 1.28. So, k minus 200 divided by 40 is equal to 1.28. Then, after we calculate, the final answer for this question is k equal to 251.2 pounds. So, this is the final answer.
That's all from us. We hope you all understand about the explanation. Thank you and stay safe everyone.
Bye!
Bye.